If you want to learn to speak a language fluently and also you want to be able to understand it, even advanced native speaker materials, especially for listening, also for reading, you will need to learn many thousands of words. There's no way around it. You will need to learn over 10,000 words, probably 20,000 if you want to become truly fluent and you want to be able to understand everything in the language. And the best way to do this is not by just doing random input with YouTube videos or anything like that. If you do that, it's going to take forever to understand the language and even longer to speak it. You will probably never speak it fluently just by doing that. But if you want to learn vocabulary fast, and I mean really fast, there are a bunch of things you can do. And I'm going to explain a very, very effective combination of techniques that you can use. It's not just one thing. I'm going to show you a bunch of techniques you can combine. If you're not new to my channel, you probably know the association technique, using visualization and associations to memorize vocabulary fast. Yeah, using visuals. That is extremely important and you will need it for this. So if you don't know that technique yet, go watch my tutorials on how to do that. I recommend starting small with that, maybe 20, 30 words a day, and you keep memorizing more and more every day until you can do 100 plus words a day easily with associations. It's going to be a game changer, so it's difficult at first, but I highly recommend you keep doing it and you keep keeping track of how many of them you're doing every day. Treat it like another kind of workout. It's a mental workout, and you work on your creativity and your ability to create associations, visualize, and memorize. Yeah, it's a skill. So set a timer and a goal, number of associations, and go for it every day and keep track. Really important. If you can do over 100 of them a day, this exercise is going to be way easier. Okay, so what is this list? This is, well, you can say it's 2000 Portuguese verbs. Verbs are super important because, well, verbs are everywhere and verbs indicate what's happening. Verbs are the words that give meaning to the sentence. If you know the verb, you can guess what the rest of the sentence is, usually. Also, verbs are often more different in other languages than a lot of nouns. Although some of them are different, similar as well. But verbs are super important. So learning long lists of verbs at first is really useful, and it will help you a lot when it comes to comprehension. So 2000 most common verbs, which is 99.99% of the verbs you're here in the language, and with that you'll be able to understand a lot. Not everything, but a lot. And then what we've got here is a list, a very long list of word families, which is words related to each other, words using the same root, and lots of declinations, conjugations of the same verb. So for each verb from the 2000 verb list, we get 5 to 10 sentences, which means we've got over 20,000 sentences. There are 25,000 individual words here, 25,000 unique words in Portuguese here in this list. That's more than enough to understand everything in Portuguese if you learn the whole list. So, how do we learn this? Well, we combine associations, technique I explained earlier, with good old reading and retrieval practice. And the fact that they are in groups of words with the same root from the same family means that you can learn memorize the first one. Let's find okay. Let's look at this one. Can you guess what this means? You probably can, right? Um, if you don't understand a sentence, you check here. and you create an association for this. So it's, yeah, I mean, great, easy. For those, you don't need to create an association. Uh, for example, for this one, that one doesn't look at all like the English one, so you have to create an association. This kind of looks like the capital city of the Czech Republic. Although I think it's called Czechia these days, but Prague. If you've been there, probably on a stag weekend or something like that, getting drunk and doing other things I'm not going to talk about, so they don't get demonetized. I Yeah, you probably have a mental image of Prague. So then you visualize curse, you create some sort of association with these two images. Yeah, you get cursed by a gypsy woman while you're, although there are no gypsies. That's Romania and Hungary, nothing. I think maybe there are. I haven't been to Prague only a few times, so I haven't really spent much time there. But yeah, imagine being cursed by, I don't know, someone's cursing, whatever comes to mind, and then visualize the center of Prague. Yeah, it's beautiful. Also full of drunk British lads there. But yeah, the place itself is beautiful. So you visualize Prague, curse, create some getting cursed by someone in Prague, something like that. But make the mental image, and you get the association. And then you get second one, third sentence, fourth, five, six, seven, eight, eight sentences with different conjugations of the same verb. This is excellent, by the way, to learn grammar without really studying rules or anything. Yeah, so you associate the first one, and then you keep, yeah, this one is villain, easy, right? Some of those you don't need to associate, but you, yes, just keep breathing, and you keep checking the meaning so you understand the sentence, and you keep doing that. And then, okay, this one doesn't need association. This one, okay, taste with the gusto. Okay, this one that's need because it doesn't need an association because it doesn't look at all. Although for me, it didn't need an association because it's the same in Spanish. Yeah, so when I was learning this, I didn't have to. But for you, you can. It kind of looks like disgusting. So you go to a wine taste, and the wine is it's disgusting. Everyone's just throwing up or something visual and shocking. And then you just now you know this one, so you immediately recognize it in the second one, and it just gets easier and easier like that. So what you have to do is keep reading, keep checking the meaning, and read the whole thing, the whole list from start to finish. So creating associations for all of the words, only the first word of the pack, yeah. And then once you're done, by the way, if some of them are difficult, I recommend you highlight them, and then you can review the highlighted ones every day after or but after the session or the beginning of each session. So you especially you pay special attention to those. But you do this, and you do it all the way to the end of the list, and then you go back to the beginning and you start again and you read again. Try not to check the meaning, and you'll understand way more. Now this is going to take time because 20 plus thousand sentences, it's a lot. But you can read the whole thing a couple of times over, maybe three times in a week. You just take your time. First time is going to be very slow because you are creating the associations. Second time will be much faster. Third, fourth time it'll get faster and faster. You'll have to check less and less vocab. And you keep doing this until you understand pretty much everything. And if you work hard on this, you can learn the whole list very quickly. And this is ton of vocab. And if you learn this, And if you're also obviously listening at some point, should be listening to podcasts or something at the same time. Not at the same time while you do this, but every day you do this, and also at some other points during the day you listen to podcasts. So if you're working, you're listening. I highly recommend doing listening and repeating drills as well. But you, yeah, if you're also listening, you will learn this pretty fast, and eventually you'll start recognizing these words in context. Maybe not these exact words, but some other words in context while you're listening. And the more vocab you memorize from here by doing this, yeah, just review the list, check the words you don't know, create associations, keep going. Because because you only need to create an association for the first one in the pack, you can go relatively fast and you can learn all the grammar and lots of extra vocab fast with this. And one last thing you could do if you want to get really, really good at the language is download this as a CSV file for Anki. You create flashcards and you get 20,000 plus. I wouldn't do it personally. But if you are a perfectionist, and I know a bunch of people, I always get people like that, especially people like accountants or people who are computer programmers, that kind of people. The sales guy will be like, as long as I can speak, who gives a? But the numbers detail oriented guys will be like, okay, I need to get this in flashcards, and then every single one of them I have to get it right. Which, if you want to get to a C2 level, yeah, that's what you need to do. But if you want to be fluent and have conversations, this is for comprehension. For comprehension, you don't need to know all of this to be able to speak. Language islands and some conversational sentences will be enough for that. But this obviously will help. But for this, yeah, the last part, if you are really a perfectionist and you want to learn all of this really well, download it, as Anki flashcards, get the sentences in English, and then translate it to the target language. And keep doing it over and over until you get them all right. You'll get them all right pretty fast with this because, well, after if you've been reading it and memorizing it, obviously, because they'll come in order. So you will get this. So once you get the wine was tasted with enthusiasm, yeah, I use that sentence all the time in conversation. The wine was tasted with enthusiasm. After, if you just have this one, you will remember this. And if you know wine and enthusiasm, then it'll be pretty easy to get this one right. And same for the next few. So it won't be as hard as if each individual sentence was completely different. The fact that they're all in groups makes it much easier, and your grammar will get good as well for your speaking. So I don't do it myself, simply because it's a lot of work and I don't have the time. But if you do want to get really, really good at the language, do that part as well. But first, memorize the first word, the first verb of the word family, and then read the other ones, understand them, memorize the next one, read them, understand them, do the whole list 2 or 3 times until you understand pretty well, and then just keep doing it a few more times, less frequently, but keep doing it until you know most of them right. And then finally, if you want to learn it really, really well, then flashcards with this. Yeah. Anyway, I hope you found this useful. More videos later. All right.